even Diwali has now become like more of a social gathering. So everybody cook a nice feast, get together with the family, and have fireworks and spend time together. But we also have to remember what's the spiritual purpose, or the spiritual significance behind Diwali. What's the spiritual significance of Diwali?
Lord Ram came to
Say again?
Lord Ram came after 14 years.
Lord Ram came back to Ayodhya after 14 years. Jai Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki Jai. So Lord Ram, Sita Devi, Lakshman, and their new friends, Hanuman, Sugriva, etc., they all came back to Ayodhya. So there was a big celebration, and bringing Lord Ram back home. So our life, it's like our heart is full of darkness without the Lord. Actually, Ayodhya Dham, the citizens of Ayodhya, they practically didn't eat. They know to clean the streets for 14 years. It was like a ghost town. There were people there, but there was nobody home. Because without Lord Ram, what is the meaning of their life? What's the purpose of their life? And only when Lord Ram came back, then everybody cleaned everything, they lit everywhere, and there was great jubilation and happiness. So similarly, the idea of Diwali is like, just as Lord Ram conquered Ravana, conquered evil, and he brought light back to Ayodhya. So similarly, Lord Ram coming home is bringing light again into our lives. And light specifically, especially means knowledge, right? Spiritual knowledge, enlivening us, uplifting our consciousness. So this is the significance of Diwali. So while we are celebrating with our family, while we're having nice time, fireworks, etc., remember the reason why we are celebrating this, the spiritual significance. So that's Diwali. This is also another special day in the Damodar pastime, because this is the actual day that Mother Yashoda bound Krishna. Do you know why? What's the significance of Diwali? Why was it that today was the day that Lord Krishna was bound by Mother Yashoda? Mother Yashoda could not have done this on any other day. It had to be Diwali. What's the significance? Does anyone know? See those who have read it. No? Remember? Well, have a guess.
Is it because today was Diwali, not really
Okay, but why is it that today she was able to tie Krishna, whereas any other day she wouldn't have been able to? Yes, the sweets are there, but there's a special significance. So because it was Diwali, then who's Krishna's older brother? Balaram. So Balaramji and Rohini, they went to visit some relatives that day. That is why Mother Yashoda was able to find, because if Balaram was there, there's no way he would have let Mother Yashoda tie Krishna. It was because Balaram wasn't there on Diwali day. That's why then Mother Yashoda was able to tie Krishna. Balaram came back saying, what on earth is going on? Right? So today is also that day. So that the song that we sing, Damodarastakam, that is the actual pastime happened today. That's very significant. Okay, so that's Diwali. So now we're going to talk about Govardhana Puja. Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki. So before we start, let's pray to the spiritual masters for their blessings, that we can say something that is impactful to everyone. So those of you who know, please join in with me. Those of you who know the prayers, please join in. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitandam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakamritamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschate Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. If I can request everyone to raise your hands in the air. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Again. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, special one, calling, wait, special one from the heart, calling for Lord Ram to enter our hearts on this special day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'll fill up all my obeisances to all the devotees here, especially my senior. So I'll just read a verse. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's the glorification of Shri Gita, which will explain this. So Govardhan Puja is a festival where we celebrate Lord Krishna lifting Govardhan hill. What's the pose? Everybody show me the pose. What's the pose of Lord Krishna lifting Govardhan hill? Okay, some of you got it right. Some of you got it right, some of you got it left. So which one is it? Which one is it? The left. Yeah. So Krishna lifted Govardhan. What's the significance of Krishna lifting Govardhan? So we're going to look at that today. Govardhan is used to be a huge mountain outside there. And it's in Vrindavan. It's about 3 hours from Delhi in India. And Govardhan is considered to be one of the topmost places, not just in the world, not just on planet Earth, it's considered to be one of the topmost places in the universe. That's how special Govardhan is. So, what is Govardhan? So we just think it's just a mountain, right? It's just a geographical location. So what's so significant? But actually, especially when you go and visit Vrindavan, especially when you actually go there, you go to Govardhan, you can see like how much devotion people have, the devotees have towards Govardhan hill. And there's a reason for that. So one devotee who was there, who was explaining this point, that G-O-D, God. So G stands for generator, O stands for, I think he used the word operator, in other words maintainer, and D stands for destroyer. So who's the generator? In the Trimurti, who's the generator? Lord Brahma. O stands for operator, so who's that? That's Lord Vishnu. And who's the destroyer? Lord Shiva. So these three personalities, they all wanted to serve Krishna. Right? Krishna is considered to be the top. Krishna is considered to be the supreme personality of Godhead. He's not God, he's Godhead. He's beyond God, and he's autonomous. So all three of them, Brahma, Vishnu and Lord Shiva, they all wanted to worship. They all wanted to take part, to help Krishna in his pastimes when he appeared 5,000 years ago. So Brahma has 4 heads. So those 4 hills in the land of, Varshana. So where Radharani had her palace, then Brahma's heads became the 4 hills where Radharani's palace is. He's very lucky he got to serve Radharani. Lord Shiva manifested as which hill? So it's the hill where Nandagaon is, where Lord Krishna had Nanda Baba, Lord Krishna's father, that's where they lived. They lived on that hill. So who did Lord Vishnu become? Who did Lord Vishnu become? Guess! Who did Lord Vishnu become? Who are we talking about today? Govardhan. Govardhan hill is actually not different from Krishna, from Lord Vishnu. Govardhan hill provided so much beautiful grass, waterfalls, trees, caves, so many pastime places of Krishna. They were all provided by Govardhan. Therefore Govardhan, the Govardhan hill, is considered to be both the devotee and the Lord himself. It's the Lord serving himself. Right? It's the Lord providing facilities for himself. Krishna and Balaram and the coward boys perform so many pastimes there. The grass in Govardhan is especially sweet to please the cows, to please Krishna's cows. Right? And there are beautiful places, pleasure groves, where Radha and Krishna and the gopis used to perform their pastime there, especially the Rasa Leela, the dance of Radha and Krishna. Right? So Govardhan is a very, very special place. And even Radharani, the gopis, would glorify Govardhan as the topmost devotee, as the topmost servitor of the Lord. So therefore, Govardhan Puja is very special. And you can see, especially on Govardhan Puja Day, there's literally thousands and thousands of people all doing Govardhan parikrama, even throughout the night. It doesn't matter what time of day you go, there's just like hundreds and hundreds of people on the road, constantly all the way around. It's about 22 kilometers all the way around Govardhan Hill, and they circumambulate it. And after circumambulation, Govardhan is very merciful, and you can make a wish. So people go there to get their benediction. And it takes about 6 hours to walk around, and then they make the wish. So today, we're very fortunate. Govardhan is going to manifest here in Walsall. Right? Govardhan is going to manifest. We're going to have a Govardhan cake, and we'll put the deities, the Radha Giridhari, we'll put them. And have you got Giridhari? We'll put Radha Giridhari on the cake, and it said that if you go around Govardhan, the Govardhan Shila, 7 times. Some say 4, some say 7. So I'll take it as 7. If you walk around Govardhan Shila 7 times, then you get the same benefit as doing Govardhan parikrama, which takes 6 hours. This will take about 6 minutes, less than that. So that the same benefit you get. So after we'll do Govardhan parikrama after the fast, and then we all get to make our spiritual wish. Right? And of course, it's also Kartik, so you get 1,000 times of benefit. So it's even more powerful. So 5,000 years ago, Krishna himself did Govardhan parikrama. Right? Who's here for the first time? Is anybody here for the first time? I take it you're from a Hindu background, though. Yeah. So let me turn slightly around. Do you know the story of Govardhan? You know the story of Govardhan? Okay. So I'm not going to tell the story in chronological order, so most people here are already devotees and know the story. So So what I wanted to do is focus a little bit on some of the specific lessons from this pastime of Govardhan. What is the reason why Krishna performed this pastime? What are the reasons why? So there's three in particular that I wanted to focus on today. So the first reason was to squash Indra's pride. Indra had become proud, the king of the heavens, he had become proud. So Krishna saw this pride and he said, that's not good. So the first reason is he wanted to squash Indra's pride. The second reason is because he wanted to satisfy his pure devotees, the Vrajavasis, the residents of Vrindavan. They only got to see Krishna in moments throughout the day. The gopis got him at night time. The cowherd boys had Krishna during the day. Mother Yashoda had him at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. But nobody had Krishna, 24 hours in a go. But by performing this pastime, Krishna was able to fulfill that desire. That's another reason. And a third reason is because Krishna also wanted to reciprocate with Radharani. Right? Whenever Radha and Krishna wanted to meet, they would always have to meet secretly. They would never be able to see each other in public. Whereas now, Krishna could see Radharani all day long, 24 hours a day. So this is another reason. So I just wanted to focus on these three reasons. So how it started is that Nanda Baba, Krishna's father, he was performing the Indra Puja. So every year, because they were Vaishyas, because they were agricultural people who looked after cows, therefore they considered that Indra, he was the Devta, the demigod who provided rain, and therefore he was the most important. Because without rain, they couldn't sustain anything. Now that the cows wouldn't have grass, nothing could be sustained without the rain. So Nanda Baba was preparing this great sacrifice for Indra. So at that time, Krishna came and asked, "Dear Father, what's going on today? What's this special thing? I see everybody's running around making all these preparations. What's going on?" So in the process, when Nanda Baba explained that this was a tradition and they did this every year, Krishna convinced his father, a little boy, 7 years old boy, he convinced Nanda Baba that rather than worship Indra, we should worship Govardhan here. And so, eventually, after convincing his father, they took all the items, all the food preparations, and they brought it to Govardhan Hill, and they offered all these food items to Govardhan. So on Govardhan Puja, that's another good day. So you're all in your own homes. That day you should feed the Lord sumptuously. So it's actually tomorrow. So today's Diwali, where Lord Ram comes back, and the next day is considered to be like a new year, and we feed the Lord, so it's feasting tomorrow. We're lucky. We get feasting today, as well as tomorrow. So this is the way Govardhan Puja means to offer sumptuously to the Lord. So they cooked huge amount of items, so much dal, rice, rotis, so many wonderful items, and everything was glistening with the gold of ghee. Right? Everything was glistening with ghee. Right? Very opulent. All these sweets, I don't want to mention the sweets because my mouth will start to water. Right? But you know the sweets that we're talking about, like rasgullas, laddus, etc., gulab jamans, Shrikhand, yes. So they offered all these, it's like mountains and mountains of food to Govardhan. And Govardhan actually manifested hands and he was eating. And he was actually eating all these preparations. Of course, it's the Lord himself. And he was enjoying and he kept saying, Anior, Anior! Right? Bring me more, bring me more. So they cooked and they cooked and they cooked until there was nothing left. And finally they gave him a tulsi leaf to satisfy. And then after that, when they put in the cows in the front, and the ladies and the children sat on bullock carts, they all, with instruments doing kirtan, they circumambulated Govardhan all the way around. So what they do in Vrindavan, what we do in Vrindavan, we go and do Govardhan program. This is what Krishna did 5,000 years ago. The Lord himself did this. They go around clockwise, by the way. Right? So what's the reason for that? So the idea is what you keep in the center is an object of worship. So when we circumambulate Govardhan today, it's like we're saying, Krishna, you are the center of my life. You are in the center. I worship you because you are in the center. So this wonderful festival was going on. And in Vrindavan there was great joy. However, somebody was very, very upset by this. Who was that person? Indra. Yes. Was Indra coming along to the kirtans? I don't think so. Right? Indra had become proud. And one of the reasons why is because as king of the Devtas, every day, practically constantly, there were always people just glorifying him, giving him praise. And his ego, his pride was just increasing and increasing and increasing and increasing. Like this. And Krishna could see that. And he had become so proud that just because these residents of Vrindavan had not done their offering and given it to Govardhan, he became furious. I was thinking about this. That already he's being praised by all these amazing personalities. In the heavenly planets, there's all these people, hundreds and thousands of people who are offering him worship. And there on planet Earth, far, far away, there's this one tiny little village, Vrindavan. And these people decided not to worship him one day. And he got so upset by that. Right? I was thinking, this is how we are. Right? This is the nature of the mind. The nature of the mind is it's always focusing on what you don't have. It's always focusing on the negative thing. Right? You notice that? Your mind. You have 99 good things going on in your life, and there's one thing that is like causing a problem. And we focus on that one thing like it's 99%. Right? And we only have 1% good things. Right? It's crazy. So, Indra, due to his pride, due to his constantly being puffed up and demanding respect, demanding worship, decided that he was going to teach the residents of Vrindavan a big lesson. So he ordered the Samvartaka clouds. So these clouds are at the time of partial filling up of the universe. These clouds come and they pour water. Right? They're the fiercest clouds. Like we haven't seen Samvartaka clouds in this life. Right? We haven't seen them. It's not like the monsoon rains. If you've been in India when it's monsoon raining, it's just like crazy. But these clouds are much, much, much worse, much more powerful. They actually fill up most of the universe. That's how powerful they are. So Indra went to that extreme. He went to the extreme of straight away calling Samvartaka and saying, I want the residents of Vrindavan to be destroyed. Right? How dare they? How dare they insult me like this? This is how we are. When we are too proud, then any little thing we take it as an insult. Right? Sometimes we could be sitting in the temple, right? And somebody comes and says hello to him, says Haribol to him, says Haribol to him, and then they walk past you. And you think, huh? What about me? Right? Now imagine somebody like Indra, who's getting so much worship, getting so much respect. You know, how big his pride is. This also relates to, there's one other thing that I just wanted to say on this. This also relates to our expectation. The more we expect from others, the more we set ourselves up for disappointment and for failure. The more we expect from other people, the more we set ourselves up for disappointment when they don't reciprocate, when they don't give what you want. Think about it. So how can we cultivate a mood where we have low expectations? How do we develop that? It's through the process of gratitude. When we are grateful, then that sets us up for, it's like our consciousness opens up. It's like a flower that opens up. Right? When we are grateful, when somebody does something, we actually appreciate it. When we expect somebody to do something, do we appreciate them? No, because we expect it. Right? We don't even say thank you, practically. Right? But when we are grateful, when we have very low expectations, and then when somebody does something, we are grateful for that. That cultivates the correct mood. You will find that when you do something good, for example, our Ravi Guru here has organized a festival today. Right? A lot of hard work has gone into it. So afterwards, people will say, "Oh, thank you so much, you did so well." Now, if he absorbs that thank you, what's going to happen to his pride? If he takes on that credit and goes, yeah, I am amazing, yeah, I am a good manager, yeah, I did that, yeah, that's right, you guys know me very, very well, right? You guys are intelligent people, right? What happens when he absorbs that? He becomes proud. And what's likely to happen when you become proud? You start to think you're better than other people. That's where the danger comes. So when we receive praise, how do we deal with that? When we receive praise, how do we accept it in a way that doesn't make us proud? How do we receive it in a way that doesn't make us proud? So here's a key thing. We always think it's not us. It's not by us alone. Right? It's not by us alone. I organize this festival, but actually I thank my Prabhu because he's the person who actually put me in this position in the first place to be able to do it. Right? I thank my spiritual master. I thank Krishna for giving me the intelligence to be able to do that. It's not me. It's not me who organised this festival. It's not me who managed it nicely. Right? It's by Krishna's mercy, by Guru's mercy, by Mahaprabhu's mercy. So we always give the credit. We don't take the credit fully ourselves. We always give the credit to somebody else. Even if it's just you passed an exam or something like that. And you really can't find anybody to give credit to. You can always give credit to Krishna and just to your parents. Right? If it wasn't for your parents, you wouldn't be alive today. You wouldn't have this body. Right? So at least, even if you're really struggling to find anybody who actually did help you, you at least go back to your parents. You go back to Krishna. and saved by their mercy. Your our mothers carried us for 9 months. When we were born, we were completely helpless. We were completely helpless. We couldn't feed ourselves, we couldn't do anything. So therefore, we can always give credit to them. So who should Indra give credit to? Who should Indra give credit to? Who should have Indra given credit to? To? Where does his power come from?
Krishna.
From Krishna. And who's he about to destroy? Right? So this is the nature of pride. We forget actually who the people are who help us. So that's why it's important to be grateful. Right? To be grateful. So I like to do that actually. Let's quickly do this. Let's spend 1 minute. So the way that we be grateful is you put both hands on your heart, which is slightly to the left. You put both hands on your heart. You can close your eyes. Close your eyes. And I'm sure Indra knows about this now. Right? If you had done this exercise before this Govardhan pastime, it wouldn't have happened. Put your hands on your heart. And just close your eyes. And just meditate, think about all those people that you are grateful for in your life. Who are the people in your life that have made you who you are today? Who are the people in your life that have impacted you? Hand on heart. Put your hand on your heart. Right. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and think about. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Think about all the people that you are grateful for in your life. That without whom you wouldn't be who you are today. And finally, think about Krishna. And think about what he has given you. Think about the Lord. And how much he has given to you. And how grateful you can be to him. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki. So that completely changes our mood. There's no question of pride when we're grateful. So Indra sent the Samvartaka clouds. And these clouds came to Vrindavan. So they were doing the Govardhan parikrama, finished, all happy, all jubilant. And then all of a sudden, everything became very, very dark. Yes, everything became very dark. And everybody looked up in the sky, and there was no sun. And these clouds were so dark, and there was a rumble, a deep rumbling thunder. Right? Very, very scary. There was lightning flashes. And then these clouds, they didn't just rain like raindrops. The water came down in columns. The water came down in columns to absolutely flood, to kill the residents of Vrindavan. It specifically meant to destroy Vrindavan. And this rain came down like water came down so fast, and everything began to flood very quickly. Now here's an interesting point. Although the residents of Vrindavan always saw Krishna as the little boy, they all went to Krishna and they asked Krishna, please protect us, and say, please save us.
Actually, Krishna gave the idea to worship Govardhan and not to Indra, and he protected them.
Okay, yeah, they saw it as his fault, yeah. Krishna, because of you, we've upset Indra, now what are we going to do? Yes, but they also asked him for protection. So this is such an amazing point about the Vrajavasis, about the residents of Vrindavan. They love Krishna so much They love Krishna so much that whether he is God or isn't God, it doesn't matter. They don't care. They still love him. However, even though they thought he was just a little boy, they knew he had special power. They thought he has some powers. He's not God. I don't think he's God. But he's got some powers. Every time this great demon comes, Putana came when he was just a baby and he killed Putana. Right? Janavarta came, the whirlwind, he survived. Right? He's got some powers. But he's not God. Or even if he is, he's still upright. Right? Their love for Krishna is so, it cannot be contaminated by this mood of opulence. Right? They just love him. So they all ran to Krishna and said, please save us. So at this time Krishna decided he was going to chastise Indra. And he went to Govardhan hill. And he lifted Govardhan hill up. And he stood on a boulder in the middle. And he told all the residents of Vrindavan, come inside, I will protect you. So everybody went inside and went underneath Govardhan hill like an umbrella. So while this rain was coming down, right, and everywhere else was getting flooded, the residents of Vrindavan were completely protected and happy. In the meantime, Indra carried on bombarding for 7 days and 7 nights, until finally he realized that there's no power greater than Krishna. He realized there's nothing he can do. Govardhan hill wasn't even affected a bit. The Samvartaka clouds, they couldn't even take one leaf off a tree. Not even one, on the Govardhan hill, not even one leaf fell off the tree. And you know the reason why? That's my temper now. You know the reason why? Because it was being touched by Krishna, Govardhan felt empowered. Right? Even the tigers on Govardhan hill, when the clouds were a bit lower, the tigers were so empowered they were like growling at the clouds and using their nails to kind of tear the clouds apart. So the clouds went, oh, and they had to go higher. Like that. So Govardhan hill was completely untouched. The Samvartaka clouds for 7 days and 7 nights were trying their best. They were exhausted. Even Indra himself came and he was sending his thunderbolt, using the thunderbolt weapon. Couldn't touch Govardhan. So finally he realized I made a big mistake. I made a very big blunder here. So Samvartaka clouds went, Indra went. And everything became sunny. Krishna put Govardhan back down and came out. And in the right opportune moment, when Krishna was by himself, then Indra came to see the Lord. His pride had been smashed. And he had actually gone to see Lord Brahma. And when Lord Brahma found out what Indra had done, he severely chastised Indra. And then he told him that because you've committed offense to the Lord, you cannot approach the Lord directly. But who does Krishna love very much? The cows. So he said, if you take the topmost cow, Surabhi, another cow, and you ask her to go in front of Krishna and beg to Krishna for forgiveness on your behalf, then you have a chance. So at the opportune moment, Krishna was sitting by himself and he looked across, he glanced inside, gave a sidelong glance. You could see Surabhi was there, Indra was there, and they came forward. And Surabhi then begged Krishna on behalf of Indra. So Indra came forward and he bathed Lord Krishna with Ganga water, and they performed a big Aarti ceremony. And that time Indra bowed his head to Krishna and said, you are my real master. I'm really sorry for what I've done. I tried to destroy you and your devotees. And at that time Krishna told Indra that you have to be careful because of your wealth, because of your honor, because of the position that you have. You have to be careful not to forget your real position as my servant. And this is a big instruction for us, that whatever power we have, whatever wealth we have, there are some of us are here who are wealthy or who will be wealthy in the future. Right? You have to remember your position. You have to remember we are always the servants of Krishna, no matter how powerful we become. Who knows, somebody here may become Prime Minister of the country, right? Or some big persons. We still have to remember who we are. Remember who our roots. Right? So then Indra paid his obeisances and left. And in the meantime, the Devtas had done a big Aarti ceremony. Like, they used huge lamps. Right? Have you ever been to India and you've seen like the Yamuna Puja that they do? And they have like this lamp, which is like, I think about this big. Yeah, and all lamps on it, right? They do this big Aarti ceremony with these lamps. So the Devtas had used these huge lamps and all these big articles, but they left them there. So when the cowherd boys came, they were like, oh, look at all this paraphernalia that's here. So they sat Krishna down. But do the cowherd boys worship Krishna in the mood of Aishwarya? Do they worship Krishna as God? No, they don't see Krishna as God. So they took the items, they took the paraphernalia, and they did Aarti, but in what mood did they do it? In what mood did they do it? Sakya. So they did it jokingly. They did it jokingly as a friend. Right? He's just this little boy, let's mess around. Oh, see Krishna, we're doing Aarti. It still never disturbed their mood of friendship. Even though they knew this big worship had gone on. So this was Indra's part. The other reason we said that Krishna performed this Govardhan pastime is because most of the residents of Vrindavan never got to see Krishna for long periods at a time, for an entire day. So for example, the cowherd boys, as soon as they woke up in the morning, they would be excited. They'd be excited to see their friend Krishna. And they would spend the whole day with Krishna, but then they would curse. They would curse the moon. Right? They would curse the moon, because they knew when the moonrise came, they would have to say goodbye to Krishna. Right? They'd have to go to sleep. They could bear the separation. The gopis, on the other hand, the cowherd young girls, they had Krishna during the night. So, as the night would carry on, then they would curse the sun, Suryadev, because they knew as soon as the sun came up, as soon as it was dawn, they would have to say bye to Krishna. So never was there a time when they had Krishna for the whole day just to themselves, except for these 7 days and 7 nights. When Krishna lifted Govardhan hill on which hand? His left hand on which finger? His pinky. Right? That's what his finger is called. He lifted Govardhan hill on his pinky. And he was standing there. And one of the most amazing parts of this pastime is, if you think about it, if that was actually the case, if somebody was standing on the boulder and in the middle and everybody was surrounding, you would think that that person is only looking at one person. Right? Just like right now I'm sitting here, I'm only looking at one person at a time. Right? However, and some people at the back, they'll only see Krishna's back. Right? Correct? Or some people on this side, they don't see Krishna from the side, from the profile view. I mean, those people up front would actually get to see Krishna. But no. Every single person thought Krishna was looking only at them. Every single resident, all the thousands and thousands of residents who were in a circle around Krishna, they all thought Krishna was only looking at them. This is God. This is Supreme Personality of God. He has an individual, a special relationship with every single one of us. He's the only person who can reciprocate with every single one of us perfectly. We may try to be everybody's friend, but we can't. Right? Because we're limited, we cannot actually be everybody's friend. Only Krishna can actually be everybody's friend. So everybody thought Krishna was looking at them. And at one point, Madhumangal, Krishna's funny friend, he said to Krishna, so Krishna's standing there holding this huge hill, and he said to Krishna, "Hey Krishna, listen, if you start to get a bit tired, just let me know, right? And I've got my stick, I'll hold up the because I'm a Brahmin, I have Brahma Tejas, I have power, right? I can hold up Govardhan for you, just to give you a little bit of a rest, right? And then you can take it back again." So when Mother Yashoda looked at her Lala, and a young boy, she just thought, "Oh my God, my poor boy, his hand must be aching from holding up the hill." She was overwhelmed with motherly affection. His hand must be aching, and he hasn't eaten. Look at him, he's willing. "Oh Krishna, why are you so restless? Why did you insult Indra? Now look at the situation you're in." So Krishna said to his mother, "Hey mother, it's fine." So Krishna was standing with his pinky here, and his thumb was in his body, like this. And his right side, standing like this. Really cool. He's such a cool guy, like in the way he stands, the way he poses, it's just like so cool. So he told Mother Yashoda, "No, don't worry, Govardhan Hill is not heavy at all. Actually, Govardhan is holding himself up. I'm just balancing him on my pinky. Right? No problem at all." Mother Yashoda wasn't taking it. "No! Why have you done this?" So then Mother Mangal said to Mother Yashoda, "Adimaya, it's not because it's not Krishna that's holding this hill up. I have chanted my Brahman mantras, my Gayatri mantras. It is me who's actually holding up Govardhan hill, right? Not Krishna." And everybody was laughing. But Mother Yashoda, in her deep affection for the Lord, she wasn't taking it. "Mother Mangal, what are you saying?" So finally Nanda Baba stepped in and said, Listen my dear wife, that Mother Mangal is simply making these jokes to give Krishna some encouragement. Let him carry on like this. And Krishna, he then took his flute, with this hand. So he's holding up the hill with this hand. Look how expert he is, right? He's holding up Govardhan Hill while Indra's smashing the hill from the top. He takes his flute and with one hand, right, he starts playing his flute. And he puts all the residents of Vrindavan into ecstasy. It's a festival. For 7 days and for 7 nights, they partied. Right? I mean, most people on Friday evenings, right, they're looking forward, when we're going to go to party. And they maybe party all night long, but then they go home, they're like, right? But the residents of Vrindavan partied with Krishna for 7 days and 7 nights, constantly, right, without a break. Right? This is the nature of spiritual life. The nature of spiritual life is when you are actually practicing properly, you don't feel tired. Right? This is the nature. This is how you know you're you're getting some nectar because you don't feel that tired. They got to be with him for 24 hours, for 7 days. And finally, there is a special person, Radharani, that Krishna would always have to meet in secret. Radharani was not allowed to meet Krishna in public. They would always have to perform some clever pastime where they could meet in secret. But this time, for these 7 days and 7 nights, Krishna could look at Radharani, and Radharani could just absorb with Krishna. They could perform their pastime simply through their eyes. And at one point when Krishna was looking at Radharani, he started to tremble in ecstasy. Now can you imagine? So Krishna's holding this Govardhan, and there's this massive mountain above you, right? And you know this mountain is protecting you. But all of a sudden Krishna starts to shake, to tremble, right? And so this mountain starts to get a bit shaky. So everybody was thinking, oh my God, Krishna's struggling. So all the cowherd boys with their sticks, all the cowherd men with their sticks, then they put the sticks up as if they were holding Govardhan, right? To help Krishna. Right? Everybody, quick, help Krishna. They put their sticks up like this. So just because of their affection. Now, how is it possible? How is it possible that they thought they could hold up Govardhan? Here's Krishna, this little boy, who's holding Govardhan hill, a huge mountain. Yet they thought they could also hold up the hill. To see their consciousness. They still think Krishna is a little boy. Even though he's holding up this mountain, they still cannot see him as God. They just think he's a powerful boy. But he's still a boy. And this mood of the residents of Vrindavan is what makes them the topmost devotees in the entire creation. And this is the mood that we want to ultimately develop in our Krishna consciousness. However, it's important that we don't try to jump to that level. It's important that we follow and practice what's called a sadhana in order to then develop that. Every single one of us has a relationship with Krishna already, our spiritual relationship. But what is your relationship? What is your relationship? What is your relationship? What is your relationship? So how do we find that out? We find that out through the process of chanting Hare Krishna, through the process of getting up early, worshipping the deities, coming for festivals, and associating with the devotees, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, through the process and practice of Krishna consciousness. The ultimate goal is to understand who you really are. What is your relationship with Krishna? Are you a cowherd boy? Are you a gopi, a manjari? Right? Are you a motherly figure or a fatherly figure? That relationship is already there. It's only for you to identify by the mercy of Krishna what that relationship is. But in the process of Krishna consciousness, we have to have that as a goal. That's why it's encouraged that we actually go to Vrindavan. Go to Vrindavan. Go see these pastime places of Krishna. Get the mercy. Even the place where Mother Yashoda bound Krishna, right? The actual place where Krishna was bound, that is there in Vrindavan. Govardhan hill is still there in Vrindavan. Go to these pastime places and really develop your relationship with Krishna in Braj, in Vrindavan Dham. It's very, very special. So that's why we encourage devotees to go. Obviously go as many times as you can, but I think try to go at least once a year. That's what Srila Prabhupada actually recommended that. Especially to the temple presidents. Right? Especially those who are in management, go to Vrindavan, get recharged, come back and be like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to do this. Right? It's very important to develop your relationship even with the Dham, because the Dham has power. The Dham is full of this, the love of the gopis, the love of the residents of Vrindavan. It's so that energy, that atmosphere is so charged with Krishna prema. When you go there, you absorb that. And then you come back, fully charged, ready to practice Krishna consciousness here. So those of you who are not initiated as well, I would really, we don't have a spiritual master, don't officially have a spiritual master. I strongly recommend also really push yourself in your program, push yourself in your sadhana, in your practice of Krishna consciousness. Go get it, become initiated, get a spiritual master. You create that connection with the Lord, and then you can also, you go higher and higher in the consciousness. And ultimately, one day, we want to realize what is our relationship with Krishna as one of the residents of Vrindavan. And we want to develop that love for Krishna, that ultimately we don't care that he's God. Even if Krishna is God, or if he's not God, I don't care. I love him anyway. This is the mood of the residents of Vrindavan. Now, like I said, we can't jump to that platform. We have to develop that naturally. Initially, we do need to see the Lord as God. We bow our heads, we serve him in the mood of opulence. But gradually, that mood will disappear. And gradually we will love Krishna as whatever it is our relationship with Krishna actually is. That's the goal. So on this auspicious day of Shiv Govardhan Puja, I'd like to maybe just give you a few seconds. Just maybe you can make a prayer. Have some idea of what you want to pray to Shri Giriraj Govardhan today. So we're going to do Govardhan parikrama. So what do you want from Krishna spiritually? What is it that you desire? How will you improve in your Krishna consciousness? So just give you a few seconds to think about what you want to pray for today. Any questions, comments? We have to have one question, otherwise we're not moving into Govardhan parikrama. Who's got a question? Any of the newbies have a question? That makes sense. Parmeshwari, you have a question? No? Why did Radha and Krishna have to see to the secretly? Good question. See, a lot of people, I've read when I was preparing for a class on Radhashtami, Radharani's appearance day, I was browsing the internet, and there was one page where they were talking about Radharani, and then I saw the comments underneath from these random people. And what you'd see is, they would make comments as if Radharani was an ordinary girl. They would make comments like, oh, she loved Krishna, but then he dumped her and went off to Dwarka, and then she went and married somebody else. Like, oh my God, like, how awful was that? Like, all these kind of things, like, completely on the mundane level. So the first thing to understand is that Radharani is not an ordinary girl. She's not an ordinary living entity. Radharani is actually Krishna's internal potency. That there is actually nobody who can directly give Krishna pleasure except Radharani. She's the internal pleasure-giving potency. That's why all relationships in Vrindavan are designed ultimately to bring Radha and Krishna together. It is Radharani that can actually give pleasure to Krishna. You see in Vrindavan, whose name is chanted more? Is it Krishna's name or is it Radharani's name? Everywhere is Sri Radhe. Everywhere, even the rickshaw, even the guys who take the rickshaws, they're like Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe, right? It's all about Radharani. So Radharani, we worship her in order to be able to actually get to Krishna. Now, in this world, in the material world, when Radha and Krishna perform their pastimes, they perform pastimes here that are not manifested in the spiritual world. Even the material world is for Krishna's pleasure. Krishna does things here that he doesn't do in the spiritual world. Are there demons in the spiritual world? Are there demons in the spiritual world? No. So where does Krishna do his fighting? Here in the material world. Right? Are Radha and Krishna ever separated in the spiritual world? No, they're eternally together. So what happens here in the material world is that Radharani, Radha and Krishna, they perform these pastimes in separation. So what happens is it intensifies their love for each other. So Radharani gets married to somebody else. What's his name? Abhimanyu. Radharani externally gets married to somebody else. So that means that Radharani cannot see Krishna directly. You see? So what happens is they have to make these elaborate plans to get around Radharani's mother-in-law and Radharani's sister-in-law, Jatila and Kutila. Right? And there's such funny things, such sweet and funny pastimes that happen, such arrangements that have to be made in order for Radha and Krishna to be together. So when there's obstacles, it makes whatever you want even more intense. That desire, it intensifies that desire even more. If I said to you, right, let's say you were struggling, you're only chanting one round a day, and you're just like so blasé about your chanting. And then I come to you and I say, right, I'm taking the beat down away. You're not allowed to chant anymore. What will happen to you? All of a sudden you'd be like, no, I want to chant. No, please don't take my beat. Like that desire for that thing intensifies even more. As soon as I take something away from you, you want it more because you can't have it. So similarly, Krishna can't see Radharani directly, Radharani can't see Krishna directly. So it really intensifies that love, and it also engages all the other people, all the other residents to help that situation, engages them too. In the spiritual world, we're eternally together, no problem. So here, Krishna intensifies the love, to the point where for 100 years, Krishna is separated from Radharani. Krishna's circle will leave Vrindavan. He doesn't actually leave Vrindavan, but to the residents of Vrindavan, he's left. It's not visible to their eyes. So for 100 years, Radharani is in separation. Again, that's to intensify their love. They're eternally together. And that's what also gives us an opportunity to be part of that pastime. So you know the Hare Krishna mantra. If you look at the Hare Krishna mantra, who are the two people we're bringing together? Hare is who? Hare is the vocative form or the calling form of Hara. Hara means Radharani. So when we call him, the Hara becomes Hare. Like when Lord Ram was calling for Sita, how did he call her? How did he call her? Sita. But the becomes A. When it's called vocative. So Hara becomes Hare. So Hare Krishna. So we're bringing Hare and Krishna together. We're bringing Sita and Ram together. Or in our line, actually, even Ram refers to Krishna. Radha Rama. So Ram also refers to Krishna. Similarly to Krishna. So we're bringing Radha and Krishna together. So by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, we are doing the same things that the residents of Vrindavan were. We are bringing Radha and Krishna together Think about that next time you don't want to chant. Next time you don't feel like chanting, think about that. That through this chanting, I am doing what the residents of Vrindavan are doing. I am bringing Radha and Krishna together, giving them ultimate satisfaction, the ultimate pleasure. Damn, I'm going to give you that. I remember telling somebody that this particular point at 12 o'clock at night, and she hadn't done any of her 16 rounds. And then she told me the next day she chanted all her 16 rounds in the 12 o'clock at night. So it's important. That's good. So but for these 7 days and 7 nights, Radharani can see Krishna all day long. And Krishna can see Radharani all night. It's the internal reason why he also performs. See, when Krishna does something, there's so many reasons why he does it. So many reasons why he does it. Ultimately, Krishna, you can see, wants to give pleasure to his devotees. There's certain incarnations that appear they have certain moves. So for example, Nrsimhadev, what was his primary move? To protect him, to battle the demons. His primary move was to battle the demons. So different incarnations have certain moves, that primary reasons for them to come. If you look at Krishna, his primary reason for coming, right? His primary reason for coming was to give pleasure to the devotees, to engage in loving relationship with the devotees. There's two other incarnations that have similar moves. They are Lord Ram and Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. If you look at these three, they're like the Parikrama Sadhana incarnations. Their primary mood is not Vinasha Chatuskuda, to kill the demons. Right? Their primary mood is to give pleasure to the devotees. So how do we understand this? Because if you look at their pastimes, you'll see there's only 3 incarnations, as far as I'm aware, there's only 3 incarnations that perform this miracle where they interact with the devotees simultaneously. So where did Lord Ram do this? So for example, with Krishna, in the Ras Leela, what did Krishna do? How? So what did he do? So was he just dancing with one gopi? No, so he expanded himself, so he was with each gopi simultaneously. And each of those gopis thought that Krishna was only dancing with With the cowherd boys who would sit in the center, it was like hundreds and hundreds of these cowherd boys sitting around him. And each cowherd boy thought that Krishna's only looking at me. Just like the Govardhan pastime. Krishna's looking at Govardhan and what he thinks of. So when did Lord Ram perform this miracle? We're not talking about demons, we're talking about him reciprocating with the devotees. He expanded himself. So after he came back today, when he came back, he went to see the citizens of Ayodhya. So he expanded himself. And he went to see everybody all at the same time. Like imagine you went individually to see the millions and millions of citizens, right? No, he expanded himself so that he could reciprocate with each devotee individually, simultaneously. Right? And when did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do this? Perform this miracle? During Rath Yatra, yes. So there were 7, during the Rath Yatra festival, there were 7 parties, 7 kirtan groups. And Lord Chaitanya was dancing in each of those groups, one at a time. But at one point, he expanded himself 7 times and he was dancing in all 7 kirtan groups simultaneously. And each group is thinking, Lord Chaitanya, It's only dancing in my group. Right? But there were two people who could see that they were standing on they were standing a bit further away and they could see from the top, like, Lord Chaitanya is there, and he's in that group, and oh my god, like, there's 7 Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhus. Like, two people could see that. So why does the Lord do that? Why does the Lord perform that? Because he wants to, his mood is he wants to reciprocate with the devotees so badly that one is not enough. So he expands himself so they can reciprocate with the devotees simultaneously. Right? This is the love the Lord has for the devotees. It's the love the Lord has for us. We want to be part of those pastimes. We want to enter those pastimes. Sorry, that was a sidetrack to a question. Is that, so the question is that Mahaprabhu and Lord Rama and Krishna all have that vow. Is that the reason why Lord Chaitanya manifested as Sadbuj? So Sadbuj, he had the hands of Krishna, he had the hands of Rama, and of course Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's a good question. I'll need to, I'll need to meditate on that. I haven't looked at that deeply. That's a good, yeah, it's a very, very sharp thought. I can meditate on it. I can't remember the exact reason why Sadbuj was manifest, so I have to look into it. But in terms of their vows, it does seem, yeah, they very much want to reciprocate. Those 3 incarnations, we want to reciprocate with the devotees so much. Yeah, maybe. I'll get back to you. Which 2 people can see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Question. One of them was King Prataparudra. King Prataparudra. He's the king of Orissa. So he wanted to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi, he said, no, I will not come over near a king. So he externally, he was saying to the king, I reject you. So the king was very upset. Forget being a king. If I can't be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then what's the point of being a king? Right, so he was feeling like that. But then in the Rath Yatra festival, the king got to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 7 days. So then the other devotee turned to him and said, look, the fact that you can see this miracle means the Lord has blessed you. So to give him some encouragement. And who's the other person? Chaitanya Chaitanya. I think it was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He was there. It was either Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya or Srivas Thakur. There was 3 of them together, 2 of them could see, and then they were telling the king, both of them were saying, oh my god, you're so lucky that you can see the Lord in 7 days. I can't remember who it was. You can look it up in the Madhya Leela Chaitanya Chaitanya, the Rath Yatra pastimes of the Lord. Technical question. Are we ready? Holding Govardhan here. Interesting question. He was there with all the other Catholics. Another reason why, another explanation why Krishna started to shake was that Krishna was looking at Radharani. So he was looking at Radharani, he was like checking her out. And then all of a sudden he noticed Balaram looking at him and he got shy. It's like, oh, I got caught. Like, he put his head down and started shaking. So Balaram was like, Balaram obviously knew what was going on. Some things Balaram is not aware of, but most of the time he knew what was going on. He was very, very happy. Balaram's always trying to give the credit, the glory to his brother. Any other comments or questions?
There is also other reason for
How many? Sorry.
There is one more reason for celebrating Diwali. Like in one of the Yuga, Lord Krishna killed Narkasur with the help of Satyabhama.
You take the mic so everybody can hear you telling the past now.
Yeah, I mean the other reason for celebrating Diwali is Lord Krishna
Use the
killed.
mic.
Hello. Yeah. The other reason for celebrating Diwali is in one of the Yuga, Lord Krishna killed Narkasur with the help of Satyabhama. That is the reason.
So we're celebrating that Krishna killed that demon.
Narkasur.
Okay, are there any other final comments or questions? Any? So my Prabhu was just mentioning that this Thursday is the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada, the Father Child, and Krishna sitting right back there. So we can meditate on Srila Prabhupada and his glories. If it wasn't for Srila Prabhupada, where would we be? Went to Vrindavan, and I saw so many like Russian devotees that are there in Vrindavan. Whenever I go and I see the mood and dedication, it's like, what has Srila Prabhupada done for the world? He went to Russia, and because it was under communist government in the 1970s, he couldn't really preach, couldn't really do much. But he just spoke for 3 days to one person. Srila Prabhupada just spoke for 3 days to one person. And now there are literally thousands and thousands of devotees, of Russian devotees, all over all over Russia. They visit Vrindavan and Mayapur. It's like, it's amazing what Srila Prabhupada shows you potency what Srila Prabhupada has. Devotees from Croatia. It's like unbelievable what Srila Prabhupada has done. It was predicted by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that one day the Indian brothers and sisters will be dancing with their Russian and European and American like godbrothers. This was like in the 1800s, until the early 1900s. And it's like, how could you make such a prediction at that time? And now you go to Mayapur and you see like, oh my God, you go to Vrindavan and you see, oh my God, what Srila Prabhupada has done, nobody could do in the past, nobody will ever do in the future. He's already done it. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Very, very special. So it's his disappearance day on Thursday, so we can meditate and later on Srila Prabhupada and get his blessings. Meditation. Yeah. Okay. So the Sunday Sangha next week will be here. Now you have to be really in tune, whether it's at the BYC or here. So just keep an eye for announcements. I was thinking actually we should put a notice up on the BYC today because I'm sure some people will go to the.
Just to understand, it's the first Sunday is always here. The first Sunday in any month will be here. Can increase if you want to be here.
the deities, you can look at April first, once a month. You want more association of deities, and the way you will circulate